Hey everyone, technology is pretty much a given in classrooms today, right? But here's the big question. How do we make sure it's actually helping our students learn? That's what we're going to dig into today. We've got a really powerful framework to show you that's all about helping educators, people just like you, go from just using tech to truly mastering it. So let's jump right in.
Okay, let's just start with this question right here, because it cuts right to the chase. I mean, think about it. We've got all these amazing gadgets in our schools, tablets, smart boards, you name it. But are we really changing the game? Or are we just handing out some seriously expensive pencils? It's a great way to frame the problem. And honestly, it's the very reason a framework like this even exists, to help us move beyond the flashy tools and focus on real learning.
You know, the truth is, the classroom as we knew it has completely transformed. And if you're an educator, you've felt this firsthand. A survey back in 2021 really put a spotlight on this, especially for adult educators. It found that there was a huge need for more support in a couple of key areas. Things like, how do I create online materials that are actually engaging? And how in the world do I figure out what my students know when I can't even see them in person?
So that's the big challenge, right? How do we rise to meet it? Well, that's exactly where this framework comes into play. And I want to be super clear about this. This is not a test. It's not some checklist to judge you. Think of it more like a personal roadmap for your own growth. It's a guide to help you build up your skills and, just as importantly, your confidence when it comes to using tech in your classroom.
So this whole roadmap is built on three main ideas, three core competencies. First up, you've got the instructor. That's all about how you use digital tools to teach. Then there's the digital citizen, which is about being a good role model for safe and smart online behavior. And finally, the lifelong learner. This one's huge. It's about staying curious and keeping up with how fast technology is changing.
And the cool thing is, this isn't just some random idea pulled out of thin air. It actually lines up perfectly with some of the big national standards out there, like the ones from ISTE. And what those standards are really saying is that our job has changed. We're not just standing up there and lecturing anymore. We're designers, we're facilitators, we're leaders, and this framework helps us step into those new roles. Okay, so we've got the big picture, this roadmap for growth, but where do you actually start? Let's get down to brass tacks. The best part about this whole thing is that it doesn't matter where you're starting from. Whether you're a tech wizard or just getting your feet wet, it's designed to meet you right where you are.
It breaks down the journey into three really clear levels. Think of it like this. Level 1 is recognition. That's your starting point, learning the basics, following the steps. Then you move up to level 2, independent application. This is where you're more comfortable. You're trying out new tools on your own. And then you have level 3, evaluation and leadership. At this point, you're not just using tech, you're thinking critically about it, and even helping your coworkers get up to speed.
Okay, that all sounds good in theory, but what does it actually look like in a classroom? Let's take that first competency, the instructor, and see how this progression plays out in the real world.
All right, so let's imagine you're designing a lesson. At level 1, maybe you just take a worksheet you already have and upload it to your learning management system. It gets the job done, right? But then at level 2, you start to get a little more creative. Maybe you find an online game to turn that worksheet into a fun quiz. Now you're boosting engagement. And by level 3, you're a full-on innovator. You're researching brand new tools, like an interactive video platform, to teach a really complex skill in a totally new way. And this whole idea of leveling up doesn't just apply to designing lessons. It's just as important when we think about another huge part of our job, figuring out what our students have actually learned. So let's look at assessment. At level 1, you might just use the ready-made quiz that comes with your curriculum and glance at the report it spits out. Simple enough. But by the time you're at level 3, you're thinking way bigger. You're not just relying on a multiple-choice quiz. You're using a whole bunch of different digital tools to give students different ways to show what they know, maybe through a video project, an audio recording, or a collaborative online poster. You're seeing the whole picture of their learning. And it's the exact same journey when we talk about being a good digital citizen, which is so important for modeling behavior for our students. Level 1 is about the fundamentals, the non-negotiables, like always remembering to log out of a shared computer to protect student privacy. But at level 3, you're taking it a step further. You're becoming a leader in this space. Maybe you're sharing your resources on a professional blog, but you're doing it in a way that models responsible data handling and ethical sharing for everyone else.
So I think you're starting to see the pattern here. The key takeaway is that this is never really done. Technology is always changing, which means we have to keep learning too. And that brings us to the last competency, and honestly, it's the one that powers everything else we've talked about.
And that's the lifelong learner. This is really the heart of the whole framework. It's not about a specific skill, it's a mindset. It's about accepting that technology will always be changing and making a commitment to yourself and your students to keep learning, keep adapting, and keep thinking about how you can teach better.
Because when you boil it all down, it comes back to one simple truth. We want our students to be empowered and curious, right? Well, to do that, we have to be empowered and curious learners first.
So you might be thinking, okay, this is great, but how do I actually start? The good news is it's super simple. It all starts with a quick, private self-assessment. It's just for you. It's a way to take a minute, think about where you are right now, and then pick just 1 or 2 small things you want to work on. No pressure.
So as we wrap this up, remember, this isn't about becoming a tech genius overnight. It's about taking control of your own professional growth. So the real question for you is, what's one thing? What's that one small area you're going to focus on to take the next step on your own journey?